Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having a wonderful and fantastic day. I am going down for a lesson. It is really early in the morning. It's about 6:45. My lesson's at 8, but I do need to bring the girls inside and get ready and go for a walk all before 8 a.m. So that's kind of a lot. I haven't had coffee or breakfast, so it might be a little bit rough. I do have a mic though, feeling very professional, although it's very like evident on camera, and I buttoned up my shirt so like the shirt didn't get in the way, but now I look like I take life really seriously. Anyways, I'm just waiting for my boyfriend. He's coming down with me because he's filming, which is very nice of him, considering he doesn't have to be awake at this hour, so it's very nice that I was able to drag him out of bed to come film. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Cinnamon spends the night outside, so I need to go bring her inside, and that way she can eat her breakfast before we go. She doesn't take very long to eat her breakfast because her breakfast is literally pellet soup because of her IBD. So. Hello, Win. Good morning. Good morning. Come on. All right. We're acquiring the pony. Both girls are very excited to come in this morning. And oh my gosh, it's bright. A lot of sun. Dragged my boyfriend out of bed, and he's now kindly getting the other horse. But hold on, I have to put you down to put her halter on. So basically now I just have to get everything else ready and buy myself enough time while she eats her breakfast. It's just so cute. Also, I really love bringing them in the morning. It's nice to just say good morning to them, even if I don't have lessons in the morning. She's always happy for her food. All right, I'm gonna pop her in her stall, let her eat some breakfast, and I'll catch back up with you in a minute. Just making sure I have everything I need. Fly spray, coat conditioner, my sea coach. Going for the herringbone Lamia pad since it goes with the outfit. So in order to give Cinnamon the most amount of time to eat breakfast, I'm getting myself ready first. Normally I get myself ready last, but this way she can eat as much as possible. Let me go see if she's done eating. Alright. I have left myself 15 minutes to finish getting her ready and tack her up. Normally I give myself half an hour, but she still hasn't finished her breakfast, so I wanted to give her as much time to eat as possible. But she ate most of it. Right? Her nose is so gross. I'm gonna let that dry off a little bit before I try to take it to clean it. Good girl. Little toesies are clean. I know you're done. Next, gonna do her mane and tail. Oh. I always give her neck a little bit of a scratch when I take her braid out, because I know at least me, whenever I have my hair done and I take it out, it feels fantastic to have a little scratch. I feel like her tail's gotten a little bit thin recently, but I think that really just has to do with diet. Diet is obviously so important when it comes to things like hoof care and hair care. And essentially when she got diagnosed with IBD, I had to completely change her diet. From hay to pellets, and then before that, when she got diagnosed with Cushing's, I had to like take her off her current feed and put her on a different feed because she completely stopped eating all of her feeds, all of her supplements, all of her feeds, everything, which is a lovely side effect of the Presend, which is the Cushing's medication. So I had to change everything up, and it just wasn't hitting all the marks. It wasn't doing everything it needed to do. So essentially, she ended up being a little bit deficient in some key vitamins and minerals. And so she's had some issues with her hoof quality, and also I just feel like her tail's thinning ever so slightly. She has a luscious tail, so it's fine, it'll bounce back, but hello. But I do just think it was like all just linked and connected. So I met, because she's never had any like hoof issues or anything like that, so I met with my nutritionist, who's amazing, and some people have said like it seems kind of overkill to have a nutritionist for horses, but if anything, I think it makes a lot of sense, and in the long run she saved me a lot of money because I'm only feeding the things that I need to be feeding and not anything extra. So I know sometimes people kind of feel like supplements are just expensive pee because they just end up peeing most of it out, which is true if they don't need it. So she helped me put together a complete diet plan for her. I've switched her to a fortified hay pellet, which has most of the vitamins and minerals she needs, and then just some extra supplements on top of that. I have her on the KER EO3 for her omega-3 fatty acids, and also the SmartFlex joint support, and both the omega-3s and all the ingredients in the Smart Pack really help with joint care, because she does have some arthritis. So yeah, we just kind of completely overhauled her feed, obviously slowly, but she's just completely changed it around, and her body condition and her hair quality, like everything has just gotten so much better. So I'm feeling very hopeful and very excited about that. I also learned something that I didn't know. Obviously I know cushion-oid horses are kind of sensitive to starches and sugars and things like that. But something I didn't know is actually they are not very good at processing protein. So they need a lot more protein because they're not, their body's not efficient at utilizing it. So I actually also switched her off her protein feed onto a feed that's like a lot higher in protein for a much smaller quantity. And that is the Purina Super Sport. So I just started her on that one. Just started switching her onto that one. So she's been on it like a day. Obviously there's no difference in terms of that, but that one I'm really excited about too, just because she went through a period of time where I really struggled with getting a top line on her, and then I put her on like a higher protein feed, and like she totally bounced back. So I'm really excited to see what she looks like when she's on the proper amount of protein. And my band just broke. I literally sat here contemplating. I was like, should I just do a new band? Yeah, they both just broke. Cool. Cool beans. Alright. Other thing is, because I'm filming on my phone, because my mic doesn't connect to my... Also, I just got her cookies instead of my bands. Because my mic doesn't connect to my Insta360. I have no idea what time it is. And my boyfriend's being very social and talking to his friends. and I'm flying blind and hoping I'm not running late. But if I am, it's not the end of the world. We usually do a ton of walking at the beginning, just because it's really good for her joints. Okay, step 1, creek home. Girl. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a stretch. I love it when horses stretch in the morning. It's so cute. I know. Life is genuinely so rough, isn't it, Nugget? No, but seriously, the routine and everything that we found for her has been working so well. Her living out at night has just made like a world of difference in her arthritis, in her attitude, literally in everything. Feeling I'm running late and I need to crack on. Gonna pop her boots on. Also, actually, we are doing so good on time. It's not even 7:45 yet, which is amazing. Try to get on at 7:45 because it's nice for them to have about 15-20 minutes just walking around the property. I think it's really nice. Right. Oh, and I gotta clean her nose off. Don't let me forget. That'd be a bit embarrassing. She also, fun fact, a few weeks back decided to try piercing her nose. She went into a little emo phase and stuck a piece of fencing up her nose, and then must have gotten stuck, and then she got spooked, pulled back, and ripped her nostril wide open, which was really fun. So she had to have 6 stitches in her nose, which, like I said, was great fun. So now she just has a little scar that most of the time is covered by her food. Isn't that right? Also, I hope you guys enjoyed her breakfast ASMR. All right. Well, I think I've got everything. Got my whip, gloves, dirty shirt. Pop the bridle on. It's gonna be really loud, sorry. Come here. She's so cute in the morning. And I think I'm gonna ride with my phone in my pocket because I want to be able to track how much we do. I have an app that tracks exactly my ride statistic. I'll insert a clip at the end of the video that shows kind of everything that it shows. But it's really helpful for equine fitness. Isn't it? She's so cute in the morning when she's sleepy. And you don't know, it feels so soft. Joey. That's it. That's it, Mum. Okay, let's go. Hey, come on. Hey, voiceover Marin here. So on this particular day, we were just really focusing on basics, and we've been focusing on basics a lot with her, just because she's not in super heavy work or anything like that, and so I really want our dressage lessons to be very focused on suppleness and alignment and making sure she's moving well, and is comfortable and happy doing the work, which she really has been. She's been feeling amazing. So, this particular day, there were kind of, I'd say, three main things that I really struggled with, and they all are a little bit intertwined. The first one being that she was so spooky. You probably won't be able to tell it from some of these clips, but then I left some of the spooks in because I think it's important to get a whole picture of how this ride went. She starts out just a little bit behind my leg, a little bit stiff, and so you see the nice lateral movement, so leg yields, getting her to just move off my legs, not necessarily forward, but sideways. But she was quite spooky, so she was very looky, very tense. And then the other one was I was really struggling to get her to stay in a nice rhythm. So she just, especially in the trot, wanted to be really, really quick. And I was just trying to get her to slow down without losing the impulsion from the hind end. And then the third thing I was really struggling with was wiggling her head back and forth, basically. So when she's not all the way through, sometimes I try to compensate by basically putting her into a false frame. So you can see here, this is one of the spooks that I was talking about. She was just constantly trying to find things to look at. But we just did a nice little circle, recollect ourselves, get back into a nice canter, and then just make sure I have a little bit more inside leg on, especially in this corner, because you can tell she is still looking, and still becoming quite a feisty gal. And so yeah, the other thing that I was really struggling with was just keeping her head still, and that really comes from the impulsion from the hind end and making sure she's balanced and well aligned and moving properly, because when I have her like that, her head isn't moving, but when I do feel like I kind of have a bit of a false frame, her head is not steady, and it's a little bit hard to and you can see there she's still speaking. But then it's just a little bit hard to keep her in a steady frame. So I always start out with a lot of lateral movement in the trot. I try not to spend too much time in the trot. As you can see, obviously I trimmed down these videos, so you're not getting a whole picture of my warm-up, but a lot of it is trot, leg yields, and a little bit shoulder in, just getting her moving around a little bit, and then I pretty quickly go into the canter. Canter is actually, I've heard from multiple vets, the best gait to warm up in if your horse can do so safely, which obviously Cinnamon's a very good girl despite how spooky she's being on this ride. I do trust her, and she feels so much better if I let her canter and just really stretch out before I go back and work on the trot. She just ends up feeling so much better, and because she does have that little bit of arthritis in her hocks and her stifles, then it just helps a lot for her to canter first. So you can see now, finally, we were able to get past that ladder without spooking. I just was really focusing. My trainer was telling me to, ride a little bit shoulder forward, make sure I have my inside leg on, and then we were gonna just go across the diagonal and change directions. And you can see the quality of the canter improves the more time she spends in it, and also the quality of the trot improves after we've cantered. She just has a lot more suspension and is just a lot more free moving throughout her whole body. I think Spanish horses in general have a lot of troubles, especially you can see here, her back is just a little bit tight. They have very short backs. It's very easy for them to go around and kind of look pretty without their whole body actually being relaxed and them not actually working through their back. So that was kind of the main thing I work on with her these days, is just making sure she's using her whole body and using it correctly. So you can see now that we've had a good long canter, her trot improves significantly, and you'll notice in these clips exactly what I was talking about, even in those just few little, oh, there she goes. See, I finally feel like I get her in a good spot, and then she would just find something to speak at. But you'll be able to see here in the trot just how much her head is moving, and that's exactly what I was talking about just that little bit ago. But her spooks are honestly so fast. It's she goes from Oh yeah, totally locked and loaded, locked in, concentrated to, okay, bye. And you might be able to notice in the audio of that one, my trainer had actually just told me to ask her to go a bit forward, and I was joking. I was like, is that what you wanted? She was just listening. No, but honestly, she was feeling a lot better, and I was just really frustrated by myself not being able to keep her head still. I just need to keep my hands that much quieter to really be able to support her so that she can use her body properly and not be wagging her head all over the place. And I would say one of my other biggest struggles with her is making sure that I don't get her too short in the neck. I'd say one of our biggest tendencies is to for her to get too short in the neck, and she drops a little bit behind the vertical, and then she ends up just going really fast and moving her legs quickly, but again, not getting that whole body relaxation, not actually working through her back. So a lot of the exercise we do in this lesson and every lesson is really just focusing on trying to get her back to unlock, slowing down the tempo, getting her neck a little bit more up and out and open, so that she can really relax through her whole body. So then once I had felt like I kind of got her a little bit more warmed up, we started working a little bit shoulder in, asking for a little bit more bend. Shoulder in is technically a collecting movement, so it shifts their balance onto their hind legs. So it's a really good movement to do, once they've kind of warmed up a little bit and they're, working through their back a little bit better. As you can see there, she's still just a little bit against my hand, not really truly through her back, but then just working on some really shallow half passes, and then she needed to poop. And fun fact about Cinnamon, she does not move and poop, she has to stop. And I think that is actually related to her IBD, so we just kind of let her do that, and then once she's done, she's really good. But that little bit of resistance in the corner and the short end partially has to do with that also. When she has to poop, you'll feel like she gets a little bit stuck in her back, more so than usual. And then it was time for our half pass. Our right half passes tend to be a lot better than our left ones. Our left ones, she has a tendency to get just a little bit too quick and too steep, and then she kind of overfaces herself and ends up getting a little bit more wobbly and unsteady. So I just try to keep our left ones, really shallow. But here you can really see how much I'm wagging her head back and forth. Again, it's so frustrating for me to watch. And then there at the end, I just kind of lost her haunches, so her haunches started bleeding a little bit, which is not ideal. But again, I think that's just part of I didn't really have control over her whole body, and the bend was a little bit false. I didn't have enough of my outside leg on there. So then we had a little bit of a walk break, and we're going to start working on our canter a little bit more. So we did our canter as a little bit of a warm up, and then we usually come back into a little trot and then come back into a little working canter. So here we just really wanted to work on our walk canter transitions and some of our halts. Again, just getting trying to get her hind legs really underneath herself and get her really over her back. You'll notice in almost any horse, the weakness or your shortcomings basically are going to be really evident in transitions, and especially a big transition like a walk to canter or a canter to walk. It's going to really emphasize the things you need to work on. So you'll see, especially to the left is our harder side. for pretty much everything in the canter, but it's all like bend, all those kind of things. So you'll notice almost every transition, like there's just that fraction where I just lose her a little bit, where she braces a little bit with her lower neck and isn't actually keeping the bend complete, and this goes a little bit against my leg and my hand. So that's really what we were working on here, was just trying to keep her really soft, you know, thinking about keeping that bend and asking her to turn her shoulders as I asked for that canter transition. And there she just got a little bit distracted, and there was a horse on the outside and she decided to leave. She said, I'll just take care of this long side, really, don't worry, Mom. But then we actually had a really nice canter. She felt a lot better after that. So then we were just kind of the similar thing as what we were doing in the trot. So then just thinking about riding a little bit shoulder forward and playing with the length of the canter. So asking her to move forward and then coming back and collecting a little bit. But yeah, just riding that long side, just every time I needed to go by, I just really needed to be sure that I had my inside leg on and didn't let her get all spooky. So I think this is the one where, yeah, I asked her to come back and I just did a little bit too much, so we broke into the trot. But that's okay. Like, she was listening to my leg, she was doing exactly what I asked. I just wasn't quick enough with letting her out of that collection. And she doesn't have the strength to hold it, so just pop back up into the canter, and then we're going to try it again on this long side. So again, a little bit forward, and then we asked her to come back, and this time I was just a little bit quicker with asking her to get out of the collection, and that one was significantly better. And then it was time to just work on some shallow half passes. So again, just going to the center line and that's it. So I just did my shallow half pass there, and then it was time to do a short diagonal with a change. Her changes are phenomenal. It's amazing. Like, I have gone months without touching her changes, but she's a smart kid and she knows it, and she is so good with her changes. So it's really not something we have to school. So you'll see both directions. She just has some really nice uphill changes. That was a little bit of a scrappy downward transition there. And then we did the same thing we did the other direction. So those, canter to walk transition and walk to canters. Canter to walks are really hard. They take a lot more muscle than a walk to canter. And the right side she finds a lot easier. So it was, we didn't have to do it as many times because we did quite a few. Well, we did a few really nice transitions, whereas to the left we really had to work on it. And then same thing again this direction, so working on the collection halfway through that long side, which again I made the same mistake I did the other direction, and I just held that collection for a fraction of a second too long and we broke into the trot. So I asked her back up into the canter and then tried it again on this next long side, and I just went for a little bit less collection and less time and then sent her more forward, and it was successful. And then again, it's time to do that shallow half pass. And this one, I was so excited, and halfway through this half pass, I yelled out to my trainer, "Oh my gosh, this feels so good!" And then I obviously was in La La Land because I was not supposed to do that change. It was supposed to be the same thing as we did the other direction, so straight down the center line and then a short diagonal with a change. But because we did the change, we were like, okay, well, we might as well just turn left now. So was a lovely change, just not what I was asking for, and that's what I get for just sitting there and being happy with my canter and not actually riding the pattern like I'm supposed to. There, she just got a little bit tired, so she just fell a little bit behind my leg, but again, she was very quick to come back up to the canter. So then we just did that exercise one more time because I really wanted to do it once without the accidental change at the end, even though it wasn't a bad change. I just really wanted to focus on keeping that canter, making sure I rode it all the way through. So yeah, then it was time to just have her do a little bit of trot, and then you can see now that we've worked the canter quite a bit, her trot looks so much better, and it's so much more fluid. She's so much more through her back. And then it was just time to post and stretch her. I always stretch my horses at the end of the ride. I think it's really important to get there, to cool them down and to let them catch their breath and stretch out all their muscles with just a little bit of a stretchy posting trot. So yeah, overall I was super happy with this lesson. We worked on a lot of the things we really needed to work on, and it was super productive. I think the beginning of the lesson looked a lot different than how she did at the end of the lesson, and I'm just super happy with that. You're so good! She was so good. I'm really happy with that. She was, as you will have probably heard, a little bit too quick and very spooky. But I'm really happy with that. She had a lot of energy, was happy to be working. So I'm quite happy. She's very sweaty though, so I do need to get a little bit of a crack on to rinse her off. So I'm already running a wee bit behind. She finally looks like she's tired, which is great. I thought after yesterday she'd be tired, but no. Alas, she was not. Okay. Cookie. Alright, I'm gonna leave you guys here. She was such a good girl. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any other video ideas, just let me know down below. I'm always happy to do whatever, to be honest. Bye.